Class, please welcome Dr. Watson. He is a world-renowned brain-based learning theorist here to watch a lesson on persuasive writing.
Ms. Agnello, the pleasure is all mine. Shall we get started? Let us quick review the 4 elements of brain-based learning that I was looking for during your lesson. I was looking for approach, novelty, priming and motivational strategies. The first thing I noticed was that you began the class by referring to the Sankler chart about important elements of persuasive writing. Brilliant way to incorporate priming. You asked your students about what you discussed at yesterday's lesson about the important elements of persuasive writing. Your students were able to quickly reference the chart and discuss at length the various elements of persuasive writing.
Yes, we frequently use anchor charts in my classroom. They are a good visual reminder for my students to refer back to while working independently.
That brings me to another point. You passed out a graphic organizer after discussing the key elements which walks your students through the process step by step. The visual along with the analytical approach is a great approach. You really appeal to both right and left dominant brain learners. I might suggest though, that in order to appeal to both learners more frequently, you analyze the supplements that you are using. Some tend to be more left brain dominant. The next element of brain-based learning that I saw you utilize was novelty. By splitting your class up into cooperative working groups, you encouraged your students to discuss amongst themselves elements they wanted to incorporate into their group essay. Your students seemed comfortable in this learning environment and bounced ideas off of one another. Healthy discussion occurred when group members disagreed. This tells me you foster a positive learning environment where your students are comfortable making mistakes. Overall, there was one element that was lacking during this lesson: motivational strategies. Though your students freely made errors while working, and discussed them, you could have brought in a few real-world activities or games to make this activity more meaningful.
Dr. Watson, I'm so glad you brought that up. I was thinking the culminating activity for this unit could be a debate. I would explain to my students how this applies to real life. As they work through their essays and complete them, their essays would turn into their debates. They would be competing against each other to win a prize. Their prize would be either lunch with me or extra recess time.
Ms. Agnello, I think that is a brilliant way to incorporate more motivation into this lesson in particular. Your students would be enthralled with either option.
Written and produced by me.